Imagine waking up every morning scared to go to school every day. A place that maybe once was somewhere you enjoyed being, but now are so frightened to even walk in the hallways. That is the case for many students with disabilities across the country. According to National Voices for Equality, Education, and Enlightenment, kids who are obese, gay, or have disabilities are up to 63% more likely to be bullied than other children. In a study of 8 to 17-year-olds done by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, they found that children with autism spectrum disorder are more than 3 times as likely to be bullied. Another study shows that children with epilepsy are more likely to be bullied by peers, as are children with medical conditions that affect their appearance, such as cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, and spina bifida. These children frequently reported being called names related to their disability, and the final study that pertains to someone very close to me found that children with learning disabilities are at a greater risk of being bullied. I administered a survey to the parents of many of our Rammies athletes, and I asked them to sit down with their child and discuss the questions I included, which were: do you feel that you have ever been bullied in school? If you were bullied, was it because you have a disability? When or if this happened, did anyone stick up for you? And, in a few words, talk about what happened when you were bullied and how it made you feel. The results of the survey were that most of the athletes said they have not been bullied, but there were at least 2 to 3 athletes that said they have been bullied because of their disability. One of the responses said, "It made me feel sad and upset, and I also got harassed on social media. It was terrible and I did not like it." There are many effects of bullying. Some include depression, anxiety, health complaints, or decreased academic achievement. Kids who are bullied are more likely to skip or miss school. This is a huge problem in the U.S., and it has happened to people we are all very close to. So what is considered bullying exactly? The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services defines it as unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-aged children. It involves real or perceived power imbalance, and the behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. The Office for Civil Rights and the Department of Justice stated these behaviors may include physical assault, threats, graphic or written statements, unwelcome conduct like verbal abuse, name-calling, or slurs, and lastly, other conduct that may be physically threatening, harmful, or humiliating. Bullying someone because of their disability can become disability harassment, which is prohibited under Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. The U.S. Department of Education defines disability harassment as intimidation or abusive behavior toward a student based on disability that creates a hostile environment by interfering with or denying a student's participation in or receipt of benefits, services, or opportunities in the institution's programs. Different forms of disability harassment include verbal harassment, threatening written statements, or physical threats. The school must investigate the incident promptly when they find out disability harassment has occurred. As a parent, if you suspect your child is being bullied, follow some of these important tips from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for how to handle the situation. Be supportive of the child and encourage him or her to describe who is involved and how and where the bullying happened. Tell them it is not their fault and nobody deserves to be bullied or harassed. Do not encourage the child to fight back. It could possibly make the situation worse. Ask the child specific questions about his or her friendships. Be aware of signs of bullying, even if the child does not call it that. They may not always realize they are being bullied. Talk with the child's teacher to see whether they can help resolve the problem. The most important tips are as followed. Put your concerns in writing and contact the principal if the bullying or harassment is severe or the teacher does not fix the problem. Explain what happened in detail and ask for a prompt response. Keep a written record of all conversations and communications with the school. Ask the school district to convene a meeting of the Individualized Education Program or the Section 504 teams. This meeting will allow parents to explain what has been happening and will let the team review the child's IEP or 504 plans and make sure the school is taking steps to stop the harassment. If your child needs counseling or other supportive services because of the harassment, discuss this with the team. Work with the school to help establish a system-wide bullying prevention program that includes supportive systems for bullied children. As recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, creating a supportive school climate is the most important step in preventing harassment. If a school district does not take responsible, appropriate steps to end the bullying or harassment of a child with a disability, the district may be violating local, state, or even federal laws. Contact the U.S. Department of Education's Civil Rights Office or Special Education Programs Office for more information. Peer advocacy can also make a huge impact in preventing bullying. According to the National Bullying Prevention Center, more than 50% of bullying situations stop when a peer intervenes. Students do not like to see bullying, and they may not know what to do when they see it happening. Peer advocacy, which is students speaking out on behalf of others, is a great approach that gives students the courage to protect those targeted by bullying. Students are more likely than adults to see what is happening with their peers, and there is more of an impact when a student tells someone to stop bullying than when an adult tells them. Don't be a bystander. Stand up for others. The last part of preventing bullying for students with disabilities is to teach them to self-advocate for themselves. The National Bullying Prevention Center defines self-advocacy as knowing how to speak up for yourself, describe your strengths, disability needs, and wishes, take responsibility for yourself, learn about your rights and obtain help, or know who to ask if you have a question. The student who has been bullied should be involved in deciding how to respond to the situation. This provides a sense of control for them over their situation, and it will also help them realize that someone is willing to listen, take action, and reassure them that their ideas and opinions are important. I hope this podcast was informative and helpful. Thanks for listening.